So, good day everyone. So, we are the reporter and we are going to report about the lateral thinking. So, by the way, my name is Jeric B. Salomon. I am the first reporter. So, lateral thinking, Edward de Bono, a leading authority in the field of creative thinking, defined that lateral thinking as exploring multiple possibilities and approaches instead of pursuing a single approach. Besides teaching you think in a creative manner, lateral thinking has the ability of transforming problems into opportunity, search for alternative solutions, and significantly increase your number of original practical ideas, employing unusual thinking techniques that are normally not within the ability of our normal methods of thinking. So it means that in lateral thinking is about exploring something new or exploring multiple things that to gain or to improve your knowledge. So as a teacher, being able to use this lateral thinking is really good because we can use our mind to learn many approaches that we can be used or it is can be useful and applicable in teaching our students or learners. Lateral thinking has the ability of transforming problems into opportunity. It means that as a lateral thinker, we can use the problems we have as an opportunity to learn new things like knowledges as far as we want. We are just like detectives that want to solve a problem creatively using just our mind full of ideas that is possibly be the answer of a particular problem. So being able to use lateral thinking is really fun and also a good thing to be able to be more intelligent than ever. Lateral thinking is the ability to use our imagination to look at a problem in a fresh way and come up with a new solution. Even we already know the answer, we still think of another possibilities and come up with a new information that might help us to really see the truth and to gain more ideas about that problem.
Lateral thinking is usually employed by individuals who are given the responsibility of coming up with new strategies in the R&D sector. Nevertheless, any, any individual who is on the lookout for innovativeness, idea generation, concept development, creative problem solving, or a strategy to challenge the present situation can gain from lateral thinking. Generally, in the modern world, individuals are facing fast-changing trends, intense competition, and who are required to come up with extraordinary results could benefit from lateral thinking, meaning any individual who come up with an extraordinary results is because of thinking laterally. So, Canadian lateral thinking is it encourages individuals to come up with new and better ways of doing the same things. Lateral thinking is not just about improving what is already there. In fact, it encourages thinking from a completely different perspectives and creates something that is new and valuable. If a person or if you thinks outside the box to solve problems, then you are a lateral thinker. You don't put limit in thinking or finding a solution. You think limitlessly. So lateral thinkers uses reasoning that cannot be explained in a step-by-step analysis, but is willing to jump from idea to idea, believing that ideas will find a way to connect themselves and will provide a solution.
So, good day everyone. I am Julie Jean B. Salomon, the next reporter. So, my assigned task to be discussed is all about the techniques in lateral thinking, number 1 and 2. So, we have here the technique number 1, alternative or concept extraction. So, the description of this is employing concepts to come up with new ideas. So, the first technique is to deliberately consider alternative solutions. So maybe you've settled on what you think is the perfect answer to your dilemma. So, but Di Bonio encourages us to take a bit more time of other options. So, in his view, it's the only way to truly consider the problem from all angles. So, thinking of a variety of specific ways to implement a concept is one way to generate ideas. Then, each specific idea can be mined for additional concepts. And extracting a new concept creates a whole new pathway for generating further, further specific ideas. So, number 2, we have focus. So, the description of this is to sharpen or change your focus to improve your creative efforts. So, focus is not commonly thought of as a tool, but it is. For example, you can learn to focus on areas that no one else has bothered to think about. Doing so may lead you to a breakthrough idea simply because you are the first person to pay attention to this area. Just moving through a typical day, you can deliberately notice what is going on at any given moment and choose to focus on your surroundings or activities to look for new ideas.
So, challenge the thinking beyond the accepted ways of operating. So, for me, challenge is a challenge where how willing to attempt or accept in completing a difficult task in order to be done successfully and therefore to test a person's ability. Random entry. Random entry employing the unrelated input to widen the horizon of thinking. So, for me also, random entry is using a random word, image, or even a sound to help in new ideas. The goal is to use the random word to let the mind start thinking in new ways rather than to immediately solve the problem.
So the fifth techniques in lateral thinking, harvesting. So choosing of the most suitable early ideas and molding them into usable approaches. Harvesting techniques involve selecting specific ideas that seem practical and have the most value, then reshaping them into practical solutions. It is about turning starter ideas into workable ideas. So harvesting, this is the technique done toward the end of a thinking session in order to select ideas that may prove to be valuable in the current situation or in the future. Harvesting helps you to identify ideas that could be implemented right away, as well as those that may need more work. Then last is treatment of ideas. Expanding ideas in order to incorporate into any particular situation or organizations. Treatment of ideas strengthen and shape ideas to fit an organization or situations. The treatment technique is best for working with starter ideas to make them more specific and practical for a given situation. For example, you may think of some constraints that might interfere with the execution of an idea, so you shape or restructure the idea to fit with the constraints.
Utilize alternative to produce and harness the creative energy of an organization. Sometimes, better or more efficient ideas comes from nowhere. Try to go beyond normality. Use those pieces of information to try to value and connect those small ideas to come up with a perfect and suitable one. Transform problem into opportunities. In some point, acceptance is a must. Accept the situation the way it is without exaggerating it and making the problem bigger than it actually is. Don't try to fix the problem. Try to transform it and turn into a source of new possibilities. For some people, Choose the optimum alternate ideas and put them into operation. In solving a problem, once you have gathered all the ideas, select the alternative that seems to be the best one for you. After selecting, be ready to take action by beginning to implement the alternative you have chosen.
Lateral thinking may be useful when applied in the following. So, A. Challenging of a present situation in a positive manner to allow room for new ideas. So, pagka nakasa mga lisod na sitwasyon, mga challenging situation, magamit jud kayo ang lateral thinking kay syempre pag nauna kag-ayo kung unsa ba ang angay i-solution buhaton nimo sa mga solution angay buhaton para solve ang problema para ma-okay ang sitwasyon kumbaga ingana. So the more ka maghuna-una og sa mga solutions, the more ka makagain og new idea. So pagkasunod na po mga problema nalapog sa mga lain nga mga bati nga sitwasyon. So nakagain naman kag idea sa from past experience nimo mga so masayon na daghan na kag solutions na ibawan, daghan na kag ideas. So gamit ang lateral thinking sa mga challenging situations, mga lisod na sitwasyon. B. Search and build on the concept behind an idea in order to generate more ideas. So, parehas akong ingon ganina sa letter A. Lateral thinking is tabang ni siya para ang lateral thinking is magamit ni siya para maka-gain kag more ideas. Kaya syempre pag for example na kay idea ni gamay tapos mag-think ka, magnahuna kag ayo kung sa ba ang dapat na mahibawan ani, sa pa ba ang punto ani. So the more ka mag-think, the more ka mag-search is the more ka magka-gain og new ideas. So managhan ni mga ideas kay tungod lang ani nga gamay kaalam nimo. So tungod na gamay kaalam nimo, kana mo lateral thinking. So daghan na kay ideas, daghan na kay hibawan about ani. So C. Resolve problems in methods that were not thought of initially. So, lateral thinking is magamit mo siya pag dakay mga problema. Syempre, maguna-una ang makaog. Unsa ba ang angay nakabuhaton para ma-resolve ba ang problema. Kumbaga, ang problema nimo is i-convert nimo, himon mo siya opportunity para maka-gain kag mga daghang ideas. So, pag makagain na kayo ng ideas, baka simple na sa mga problema, na kay mga solutions, nakabalo na kayo sa mga buhaton para ma-solusyonan ang imong problema. Baga, ma-resolve ang imong problema. Baga, magamit ang lateral thinking para ma-resolve ang problema. That's all. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Donna V. Pizon, and I will be explaining to you the right and the left brain crossover. It is said that in general, an individual uses both sides of the brain when making a decision. Thus, this is due to the fact that when you use only your one side of your brain, you are basically denying yourself the opportunity to use your full power in the decision-making process. So the crossover of the right and the left brain crossover produces a sound, the rational and logical decision that gives you satisfaction. The right hemisphere that gives you satisfaction the right hemisphere of the brain is responsible for intuitive, subjective, and holistic thinking. Thus, an individual who uses only the right brain may end up making a decision that lacks the logical and objective reasoning. So, the right brain, for me, the right brain is more on visual and deals in images more than words. So, right hemisphere is it processes information in an intuitive and simultaneous manner. and also it takes in the big picture and then looks at the details. Some say it's the creative artsy side of the brain. So our brains have two sides or hemispheres. In most people, language skills are in the left side of the brain. So the right side controls attention, memory, reasoning, and problem solving. So the right hemisphere controls the muscles on the left side of the body. And the left hemisphere controls the muscles on the right side of the body. So in large anatomy of the brain showing the cerebrum or cerebellum, brainstem, and other parts of the brain. So the neural system for emotions linked to approaching and engaging with the world like happiness, pride, and anger lives in the left side of the brain, while emotions associated with avoidance like disgust and fear are lives in the right side of the brain.
On the other hand, the left brain is in charge of logical, analytical, rational, and objective reasoning. Hence, a left brain user who works with facts, data, and logic without the following component in making decisions usually fail to notice the importance of using their emotions. These individuals believe that the facts, data, and logic are not only superior than emotions when making a particular decisions but also always produce better decisions. Feelings are an important component of the human existence. It is essential that you embrace and accept feelings during a decision-making process in order to ensure that you will feel satisfied with the final decision that you have made. So mauna to no? So, our left brain is for logical component. Logical, think critically. Critical thinking. Then sa right pod, muna ang mga emotions or feelings. Diba? So, when we decide something or we have a doubt or we should have decision making, so it is very important that the component, the feelings, and the logic are being together in order to have for you to satisfied of your decision making. Kana bitawng kanang dili ka magmahay sa ulahi, di ba? Like for instance, for example sa love, romantic and critical ba yun? Romantic and practical. Romantic love and a practical. Romantic love like bahalag saging basta loving. Mga emotions lang ang gipairal gyud nila ang love. Love ra gyud ang gipairal. As long as there is love, Muna bahalag saging basta labing. Bahalag pobre basta kay together sila nagkahigugma ay. O bahalag pobre. But practical thinking, like for example, ay pobre kaayo taani oy, like for example manguyab ka dapat dato, di ba, kay kwartahan, dapat gwapo, mingana practical, think practical. Pinapuy uban nga bubiya sila sa ilang loved ones para manarbaho og layo para sila mabuhi, para sila muharuhay puhon ni balik nila dire para muharuhay na ang ilang pamilya kung mag-create mo sa pamilya ang mga lovers. So, something nga na romantic, bahalag saging basta labing, di ba? Then praktikalan gyud sila. Naguna-una gyud sila nga muharuhay or unsa joy makaayo para sa ilaha o something nga ana ba. So, naiuban nga magbulag sila tungod kay tungod kay problema lang nagkalisod or something money problem muna sila nagbulag. Tiguban pod bahalag nagkalisod, bahalag nagkadimaw-dimaong palibot basta kay love lang yun. Importante silang duha mo po na ang romantic. So dapat po dili ba puta mabuhi kung love lang gyud, di ba? So dapat think practical sad ta. So muna nga And dapat in every decision that we make, naagyud na ang love o ang practical. Dapat iusag yun na sila, di ba? Dapat iusag yun na sila kay dapat kay later on dili ka magmahay sa imong mga decision making. Like for example, in ang mag-test tag multiple choice, namang gyud dara situational, di ba? Situational nga mostly ang mga answer pare-pareha lang gyud. Pero imo nang balik-balik og basa, then ibutang si mong utok umuna-huna og katong mga choices ipambasa nimo din together with your feelings and emotions, makup up gid nimo na ang tinuod nga answer. Muna ambot ipasabot dira nga in every decision making we should have to kana bitang multifunction sa atong utok og sa tuang feelings sa tuang kasing-kasing kay para dira na to makup up gyud ang tinuod nga decision para in later on ato nang gihuna-huna og maayo og atong ibutang sa tuang kasing-kasing later on para di na tamag mahay sa outcomes.
Good day everyone, I am Babes Balatayo and I was assigned to give you an example of amazing people who have accomplished much with a strong left and right brain crossover. First is Alan Bean, a Navy test pilot, the lunar module pilot on Apollo 12 and the fourth man to walk on the moon. These jobs required strong left brain thinking using logical, analytical, rational, and objective reasoning. After resigning from NASA, Alan Bean became a full-time artist. He paints Apollo's human adventure that is both visionary and historic. This art requires strong right brain thinking using intuitive, subjective, and holistic thinking. Florence Nightingale is another excellent example of a person with excellent left and right brain crossover. A nurse by profession, her nurturing qualities demonstrated the powers of her right brain. She was an extremely famous nurse who helped the wounded during the Crimean War. Many of the caring qualities of a good nurse are right brain traits. Florence Nightingale was also a statistician. She showed the importance of sanitary conditions in healing the sick and wounded, used her left brain powers. Her work to get better sanitary conditions on the wounded has saved countless lives. I guess that would be all. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learn a lot about lateral thinking and left and right brain crossover.